Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new to this channel, well, my name is Prince, and if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel for more content for C++ and programming in general. So today's tutorial, we're going to continue with our C++ series. So we're going to be talking about references in C++. So a reference variable is just an alias to an already existing variable, or just another name that you can use to refer to an already existing variable. So whenever you have a variable, maybe variable A, it's a variable with an identifier name A, and you want to also refer to that variable using a variable named a variable with an identifier B, then that's where you need to use a reference variable to do something as referencing. So what referencing basically does is that it creates it points to two variables to the same memory address. So let me just explain to you this further. So for example, whenever you create let me explain to you from the beginning. Whenever you create an integer a variable in C++, for example int a, what happens is that C++ assigns a memory address to a certain point in the memory, and then reassigns that value to the variable a. So that can be uniquely used to identify that place in memory, and can be used to retrieve and update the variable in that place in memory. Okay, so now that's what memory address. These are called memory addresses. Okay. So whenever you have two variables pointing to the same memory address, that's when referencing is in play. So for example, you have a variable created a variable int a, and the compiler assigns this memory address to it, right? This memory address. So whenever you create a reference variable, you're just saying, for example, here you're creating a reference variable using the data type, which is the int, and then the upper sign, which is known as the reference operator. So the reference operator allows us to create a reference variable. So we're just saying that B is a reference to A. What basically this means is that A and B are pointing to the same path in memory. So whenever I update the value of B, this should affect also A. Okay. And whenever I update the value of A, this should affect B. That's what a reference variable is all about. I know this might be confusing, but let's look at this in code, and then maybe it can make more sense to you. Okay, so I already typed out some code over here, but let's start from scratch. So I'll just go ahead and actually remove all of this, and then we'll begin again. So you can create the variable int a, okay, and then we can assign to it the value of 20 like we did it. Okay, so and then I can say int b, right? I want to create a reference variable. So there are two ways to create a reference variable. So after the data type, you can pass in the ampersand and then identifier, and then the value that you want to refer to. So this is one way that you can do a referencing. Okay. Another way, you can just put the ampersand immediately before after this other variable. Okay, so that's how. So at this point, you've already created a variable, a reference variable b. So b is referring to a, and both a and b point to the same path in the computer's memory. So for example, when I said c out, let me just do a c out, and then I'll print b, and then I'll simply end that line. Okay, I'll save this code, and then I'll try to run it, and then let's see what we get. At least you can probably guess the output. At this point, we'll simply just get back 20. So this is a bit huge. So as you guys can see, there we have 20, right? So now B is referring to A. Now, what if I move down and say B is 40? Okay, just say B is 40. And then I try to print out A. What do you think the output will be? Because I told that B and A both point to the same path in memory. So whenever we do an update to B, this should also affect A. Okay, so whenever I run this code now, we should get the output as being 40, because B is just a reference to A. So whenever we update B, A should also be affected, because both of them point to the same path in the computer's memory. So we got A as being 40. So you can see that I initialize A to be 20, and I never reassign the value to A, but we're getting back 40 simply because we changed the value of the reference variable. So that's one of the ways that you can understand what reference variable is. So I told you that they all point to the same path in memory, right? So to get the memory address in C++, you have to put an ampersand before a variable name. This will return to you the memory address of that specific variable. Okay, so I'll move down here and I'll just paste this. Now I want to print the memory address of A. Now I told you earlier on that the memory address of the reference variable and the original variable will all be the same, right? So now if I run this, you should get the same memory addresses, right? So you should get the hexadecimal values to be the same for both outputs. So I'll just bring my terminal this way and try to make this. You can see we have the same hexadecimal values for both the memory address of A and both memory address of B. This was this is what I explained. This is what I mean when I explain this part of the code, that A and B basically point the same place in memory because both of them have the same memory addresses. That's why we can do whenever you modify A, it will affect B. Whenever you modify B, it will affect A because they are both referring to the same place in the computer's memory. So that's what a reference variable is all about. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and the next tutorial will talk about pointers. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please kindly consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video. So in the next tutorial, we'll look at pointers, and then from there I'll start looking at functions and stuff like that. So stay tuned to this series. I hope you're enjoying this series so far. If you have any comments, feedback, you can drop it in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial.